Bonjour tout le monde! Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm happy to see you today for another video, and for this week video, we're going to talk about something that you're going to like, that's going to be super useful for you guys, which is la vie quotidienne, known as the daily life. So when you start your French journey, you know that you have to learn French and being able to express what you're doing on a daily basis, stuff that you do, at what time you wake up, at what time you eat lunch, at what time you do this or that. And this is what we're going to see today. La vie quotidienne, daily life. Introduction. Je parle de ma journée. I speak about my day. How do I? First, you have to know two things. First is the tense. Every time that you speak about your daily life, things that you do every time on a daily basis, you use the present tense. Basic one. And then when it comes to verbs, focus on that subject, we call those verbs the reflexive verb. We have a lot of verbs in French that are reflexive. We're going to see what they are, how do we build them, what are they made, how does that work? But we're going to focus on that because you're going to be able to use them when you want to talk about your daily activities. Okay, first, let's focus on the verb. As you know, in French, we have three categories of verbs. Each verb is split into different categories depending on their ending. We have the first group that is the verb er, second group ir, third group the rest. If you're not sure about the ending, how do we build the verbs and everything, go check our last videos. We have a lot of videos that have been made, consecrated and focused on that subject. So feel free to go see the previous videos that we made on that. But for today, we're going to focus on the reflexive verb. For example, I took the verb to get out of bed. To get out of bed, we say se lever. The verb, main verb, would be lever. Lever, you see that my ending of lever is er, meaning that this verb is considered as the first group, okay? If we just remove the se for a minute and we focus on lever. Lever being a verb from the first group, er, I know my ending, right? When it's for je, meaning I, my ending for my verb will be I. Try not to focus at the little article that we have. Just lève. Je lève. I put my I because it's for je. When it's for tu, it's is. Tu lèves. Il, elle, lève. I know that when it's for he or she, I just put my I. When it's for nous, it's ons. Levons. When it's for vous, it's iz. Lever. And when it's for they, il ou elle, it's ent. Lève. But it's always mute. You never pronounce it. These are the regular endings for the verb's first group, depending on each pronoun. This is regular. Now, why do we have those reflexive verbs? Why do we have this article se in front of lever? It means that the action that you're going to talk about when you're going to use that verb is going to apply on the person, himself, yourself, himself, itself, ourselves. It's reflective on someone, okay? When you have the se in front of the verb, se lever, this is the infinitive. That means the full form of the verb. But when I'm going to apply that action on someone, I'm going to change my article for the right person that I'm referring to. Example. If I want to say, I get out of bed, okay? I'm doing the action. Because my verb is reflexive, I'm going to have to change that pronoun to show that I'm the one executing the action. So when you have se and you want to apply it to yourself, you're going to change the se into me. Je, you keep your pronoun je, I, me lève. Je me lève, I get out of bed myself. In a way, I do it on me. I'm the one doing the action. Je me lève. When I want to apply it to you, such as tu, it's going to be te. Tu te lèves. I don't pay attention to lève. I know just my ending, so I put the natural I, es, ons, iz, ent for my verb, but then I need to change my article. If it's for tu, it's going to be te. Tu te lèves. If it's he gets out of bed or she gets out of bed, it's the same as the infinitive, se. Il se lève. Elle se lève. If it's we get out of bed, we all together, the se is going to turn into another nous. That means we're going to pronounce the nous twice. Nous levons. We are getting out of bed. If I want to say you are getting out of bed either in a formal way or in a plural way, meaning I'm addressing to like multiple people at the same time, I'm going to repeat my vous. Vous levez. And then if I want to say they get out of bed, it's the same as the singular, he or she, I keep my se. Il se lève, elle se lève. They get out of bed. So this is the rule. It's always going to be the same pronoun, the same article, and the same ending. Meaning, for every verb that is the first group, you know that the first group is ER. It's always going to be E, ES, EONS, EZ, ENT for your verb. And then when you want to focus on the article, je me, tu te, il se, elle se, nous, vous, il se, elle se. And then you put your verb with the right ending. Je me lève, tu te lèves, il se lève, elle se lève, nous levons, vous levez, il se lève, elle se lève. And that's going to be the same thing for every verb. Now, I took a little example of each part of the day and things that we can do on a daily basis. So let's see the example of the phrases and the verbs and how do we manage to make the phrases out of it. Le matin, the morning. I put on one side the hours and on the second one the examples. For example, if I get up at 7, à 7 heures. Je me lève à 7 heures. Se lever, to get out of bed. I'm the one doing it. I see that se lever as the little article. I'm going to keep that article and apply it to myself. Je me lève à 7 heures. I get out of bed at 7. À 7h15, je me lave. At 7:15, I shower. Same thing. When you look at the verb to shower, it's the verb se laver. Se laver. It's the same as se lever, but careful. To get out of bed, se lever, to shower, se laver with an A. And it's the same. It's reflexive. I have my article. I'm talking about myself. So I put me and I put my ending of the verb. Je me lave, I shower. Then if you want to say to dress up, it's going to be s'habiller. It's the same rule. It's also reflexive, but because habiller starts with an H, I am capable of removing my E from se. But it's still reflexive. It's the same rule. So when I want to apply it to myself, I'm going to say je me habille. It's reflective to myself, so I'm changing my article se into my me. But same thing, because habille starts with the H, I'm capable of removing my E from me, so that when I'm just going to speak it and pronounce it, it's going to be smooth. Je m'habille, I dress up. Prendre, to take. This is not reflexive. I don't have any se. That's regular. It's the third group. If I want to say at 7:45, I take my breakfast. À 7h45, je prends mon petit déjeuner. I take my breakfast. At 8 a.m., I go to school or I go to work. I go, aller, regular. À 8 heures, je vais à l'école, je vais au travail. That's basics. If I want to speak more generally on the day, la journée. At 9, I arrive to school. À 9 heures, keep in mind, in French, when it comes to time, we always say heures, hours. It's like saying at 9 hours. À 9 heures, j'arrive à l'école. Arriver, regular, no preposition, no reflexive, j'arrive à l'école. À 10 heures, j'écoute le professeur. Imagine you're at school. At 10, I listen to the teacher. À 10 heures, j'écoute le professeur. Present tense, regular. À midi, it's noon. So when it's noon, I can either say à 12 heures, 12 hours, or at noon, à midi. I eat lunch. To say I eat lunch, it's the verb déjeuner. Regular, it's ER verb. I know that my ending is E. Je déjeune. À 13 heures, je retourne en classe. At 1 p.m., I go back in class. Régulier, regular. À 16 heures, je rentre chez moi. At 4 p.m., I return or I go back home. Regular, there's no se. You're only going to put the article if you have it in your verb. If you don't have it, you just put your natural ending. À 16 heures, je rentre chez moi. Après-midi, the afternoon. At 4:30, I eat snack. À 4h30 or à 16h30, I can use two ways. Remember, if you're not sure about the hours, go check our previous videos about the time and hours. But you can either say at 4:30 or at 16:30. Same thing. À 16h30, je goûte. Je goûte, I eat snack. À 17h, je fais mes devoirs. At 5 p.m., I do my homeworks. Regular is my verb faire. You know it. You're just connected to your pronoun. À 18h, je joue. At 6 p.m., I play. Je regarde la télé. I watch the TV. I read. Je lis. These are just the verbs. You just have to know what part of, like, what group are they, and you know your ending. Okay, this is pretty much it for the afternoon. Now, if I want to speak about the evening, le soir, à 19h, je dîne avec ma famille. At 7 p.m., I eat dinner with my family. Dîner, it's to eat dinner. I know that dîner is ER. Je dîne with the E. À 20h, je me repose dans ma chambre. Je me repose. Why me? Because the verb to rest, it's se reposer. I have my article. It's reflexive. I need to put it. Se reposer, when it's playing on myself, it's me. Se turns into me. I need to keep it. Je me repose. I rest in my room. À 21h, je me brosse les dents. Here we go again. À 21h, at 9 p.m., I brush my teeth. Here, look at the way we write the phrase because it's a little bit different from the English. In English, you say, I brush my teeth. Here, because in French the verb is reflective, it's like you're saying, I'm brushing myself the teeth. We're not going to say my teeth, like I brush my teeth. We're not going to say it because the action already applies on myself because of the me. Je me brosse les dents, it's on myself. So I'm just going to say, I am brushing myself the teeth. We're not going to say mes dents because you already have the possessive that shows that you're doing it. Je me brosse les dents because the verb is se brosser. Se turns into me when it's for je. And I put my red ending at the end. Je me brosse les dents, I brush the teeth. À 21h30, je me couche. Same, reflexive. Se coucher means to go to bed. Se coucher, infinitif. Je me couche, I go to bed. À 22h, je dors. At 22h, it's 10 p.m., I sleep. Je dors. So here you just have to pay attention to the verb. If it's the verb doesn't have any reflexive, any article, you just put the right ending and that's all. If it's a verb such as to rest, to brush the teeth, to get out of bed, when you know that you have this little article that is de se or the S apostrophe, meaning that after you have a vowel or H, it's the same rule. You just have to go on the slide, and remember that me, te, se, nous, vous, ce, all of those articles need to stay in the right place before the verb, after your pronoun, and be the right one depending on the person you're referring to. Okay. Now, I think you're capable of doing this one. Here, I wrote 5 different phrases, okay? And you have 5 different verbs. You just have to choose the right verb for the right phrase. Careful. Maybe some of them are reflexive, so you're going to have to choose the right article. Let's see. Se lever. Se lever, to make sure it's good, to get out of bed. Se coucher, to go to bed. Faire is to do. Aller is to go. Prendre is to take. So you have 5 different verbs and you have 5 different phrases. Je à 7 heures. Je mon petit déjeuner. Je à l'école à 8 heures. Je mes devoirs à 17 heures. Devoir is homeworks. À 22 heures. What do I do? At 10 p.m. So you can just try to choose the right verb. Be careful if it's reflexive or not. And then you just put the right ending for the right pronoun. But because I'm explaining my journey and my day, it's always going to be je. I feel that you are pretty capable of even trying to do the same thing. So if you want to practice on your French, I will tell you, maybe try to do the same. You take every little thing like part of the day and you try to tell me, depending on the time, things that you do. At what time do you wake up? At what time do you go to work or to school? What time do you eat? It's going to help so much on processing how to use the verbs. And you can try to send us that. If you have any question, we'll be happy to help you. I hope that this video was useful and I just cannot wait to see you next week for another video. Salut!